Knowing what's happening with weather can ensure safer conditions for everyone. Knowing what conditions could develop or will develop affects the decisions that you will make. Also, knowing a bit about the forces of nature prepares you for the unique situations you may encounter, such as hazards that weather and wind damage present to structures, roads, and utilities. Many people aren't aware of the millions of dollars of damage that lightning causes every year and the loss of life resulting from lightning. The National Weather Service publication, Storm Data, recorded 3,239 deaths and 9,818 injuries resulting from lightning between the years of 1959 and 1994. Lightning is one of the most common weather events nationally, and second only to flash flooding and fatalities. As emergency responders, we are often called upon to perform in lightning or electrical storms, and do so with very little regard as to the peril we might be in. Lightning, then, is an ever-present danger. In the United States, there are approximately 7,700,000 cloud-to-ground lightning strikes per year. That's 15 per minute. They are responsible for about 90 deaths and 272 injuries annually. The most common type of lightning is intercloud lightning, a discharge within the same cloud. It's not to be confused with cloud-to-cloud lightning or intercloud lightning, which is a discharge between two separate clouds. More rare and quite dangerous is what is known as cloud-to-ground lightning, or CG lightning. Lightning is a big bolt of electric current, just like a spark. It stays within the sky most of the time, but sometimes goes from the sky to the ground or objects on the ground. This is what cloud-to-ground lightning is. Lightning likes to travel, but it's a fairly lazy traveler, following the easiest possible path. When that path leads to the ground, so does lightning. Lightning, then, is simple electricity, and thus can travel along any path that electric power can travel along. It can enter a dwelling through power lines, cables, or even pipes. It's not restricted to those paths, though. At home or at work, people should stay off phones, out of tubs or showers, and disconnect as many electric appliances as they can, computers and televisions especially. One of our honorary members was an emergency dispatcher years back, and received a lightning strike through a telephone he was talking on. He was forced into disability, and to this day experiences permanent nerve damage and excruciating pain daily. Thunder is merely the sound that lightning makes. We see the lightning before we hear the thunder because light travels faster than sound. Lightning heats the air to about 54,000 degrees, which creates a shock wave that creates an acoustic wave that we hear as thunder. As you will note, most lightning strikes occur on flat plains. Golf courses, bodies of water, open fields, all are unsafe during lightning storms. Trees, as you can see, offer no protection at all. It should also be noted that many lightning strikes occur in the mountains, probably due to higher elevations and enhanced exposure. Trees actually attract lightning, especially solitary ones. It's important to remember that lightning doesn't need to hit you directly to hurt or kill you. Lightning can hit an attractive point, which serves as the initiation point for a ground current, which spreads out in all directions from that point. Lightning can also bounce off objects to strike another object. The highest point on a flat plain is an attractive target for lightning. Make sure that isn't you. As responders, we are constantly in situations where we are working in high places with water, electricity, and metal apparatus and equipment. The innate hazards of these occupations increase tremendously when you have electricity above seeking a place on the ground to discharge. It's easy to see how lightning activity and awareness of it might affect how we respond to emergencies, and how and where and when we deploy our manpower and equipment. Many people report feeling the hair on their skin or on their head standing on end prior to being hit by lightning. If you were caught outdoors, away from shelter, and in danger of a lightning strike, the most important thing to do is to make yourself as small a target as possible. Well, not exactly like the fellow on the left. The guy on the right has the right idea. Cover your ears with your hands and squat on the balls of your feet with your heels touching. Floods are a natural part of nature's cycle. Flooding occurs when rain and water runoff accumulate to a point where the rivers and streams can't hold it any longer. When we run into trouble is when people build their homes where the water needs to go when it floods. You usually have plenty of warning for floods, because they occur after many days of heavy rain. More dangerous is the flash flood, which can happen very quickly and with very little warning. Flash floods are the #1 weather-related killer in our country. For example, on June 9, 1972, 15 inches of rain fell in Rapid City, South Dakota within 5 hours. The result was 238 fatalities and $168 million in property damage due to flash flooding. Unless you have been involved in a fast water rescue, it's hard to imagine the power of moving water. In addition to the force of the water itself, you also have to contend with the debris carried in the water. Fast water rescue is one of the riskiest maneuvers in the game, but that risk factor can be somewhat mitigated by knowing how much water you're going to be dealing with during that rescue attempt. Your decisions would obviously be affected by knowing if you're going to be dealing with more rainfall, less rainfall, or a cessation of rainfall completely. Access to near real-time radar imagery can give you that information. Looping images together will also show you how fast the weather is moving and where it's moving to. This is the aftermath of a flash flood where the water depth was only 8 inches. Remember, walking or driving through fast water, even at what you might think is a manageable depth, can lead to disaster. The best safety for surviving a flash flood is to keep the public and the responders aware of what a life-taker floods are. Every weather-related disaster, floods in particular, will be attended by well-intentioned civilians wishing to help. It's easy to see how in this scene, a situation involving 2 victims could have easily become a situation involving 4 or more victims. Keeping your public informed of safety procedures and weather risks will ultimately keep everyone safer. Ways to do this are through public presentations, handouts, flyers, or a timely article in the local paper. Assistance from the public can be a valued asset, provided they know not only what to do, but what not to do. Teach them to be your eyes and ears, but not your rescuers.